ACC week is here, and we'll begin with the highest ranked team in the ACC, men or women. The North Carolina women's team ranked #1 in the U.S. Lacrosse preseason poll, and for good reason, too. They finished 17-4 last season, following the Boston College 15-14 in that epic double overtime national semifinal game in Baltimore. They did beat those Eagles about a month prior to that. They won the ACC championship 15-13. That was in Chestnut Hill. The Final Four appearance, their second in a row, fourth in the last 5 years. They last won that title in 2016. The reason they're #1, that talent coming back. Their 4 top scorers return, including junior Jamie Ortega, the first-team All-American, scoring a Carolina record 112 points last season for 81 goals. Also a UNC record. She was the ACC tournament MVP and winning that championship. Also named to the All-NCAA tournament team with 5 goals and 2 assists in that semifinal loss. Katie Hoeg returns for her senior season after dishing out a school record 73 assists last year, breaking her own record of 50. She set that as a sophomore. Already North Carolina's career assist leader with 132.
I've played with Jamie before we got to college. We're both from Long Island, so ever since she kind of stepped foot on campus, I kind of just learned the way she does things, and she's just so easy to play with, and I just have this immense trust in her that she can do kind of the impossible sometimes. I'm like, how did you catch that and how did you score? Like, she's pretty awe-inspiring, and we definitely work on our chemistry every day, and we try to train together in the off season, but she's just so easy to play with.
Emma Trenchard, a key member of their defensive unit, returns for her junior year. Most recently, Trenchard playing under Jenny Levy for the U.S. Women's National Team. So, yeah, that's how good she is. U.S. Women's National Team good. She was the 2019 ACC Defender of the Year, gathering 24 ground balls, causing 16 turnovers. Taylor Moreno just keeps getting better. The All-ACC pick and goal, ranked 8th in the nation with an 8.91 goals against average as a sophomore last season. More than a full goal better than her freshman season, as I mentioned, improving. Jenny Levy entering her 25th season at the helm with the Tar Heels, starting the program in '96. Since then, advancing to 11 Final Fours, 4 championship games, winning 2 titles. She spoke with Travis last weekend at LaxCon.
How do you manage the expectations of, in some places, seeing a #1 next to that name, North Carolina?
Well, our expectations every year is to try to be the best that we can be. Whether we're ranked 1, 2, or 3, I think it's familiar territory for us. But I think it's important that we work every day. A little coach talk here, but it's true. You have to be focused on the here and now. Try to be where your feet are. Try to get something out of every training session that you have and not waste the day. And we can't wait for our season to start. Our opponents will tell us a lot more about ourselves, right? We'll expose our weaknesses, see where we're strong. And so we're looking forward to our opening game against JMU on February 9th.
Yeah.
But really liking my team. Our leadership has been very effective this year. A little hard-working group, and with really good chemistry. And doesn't mean we have it in the bag, you know? You have to go learn it. Yeah, you have to. There's other teams out there that probably feel very similar to what we do, is that we've got a chance,
How special is that duo of Jamie Ortega and Katie Hoeg and the chemistry that they've developed? I know they played together on Long Island growing up, and now they have a chance to do this in North Carolina. How special is that chemistry?
It's so special. It starts with Katie Hoeg, really. She's a senior captain for us this year. By the way, Phi Beta Kappa. All right, so she doesn't have anything going on for herself.
Very impressive.
But yeah, so she's a humble, hardworking servant leader, and she really drives herself to be the best, and really does it in a nice way that people want to follow. And then you have Jamie, who's just really looks up to Katie, but also compliments Katie. And Katie, I think they had, I don't know their stats from last year, but Katie had something like 70+ assists, and most of them were to Jamie.
Yeah.
And I know people know that. It's not a secret. If you scout our team or pay attention to the data, it will tell you that. But it's still really hard to stop, because there's something about having a wingman. They can just understand where they're going to be before anybody else knows, and it's just very special between the two of them. They're a joy to watch and coach play every day. they're just committed, they're great teammates, and really talented.
In order to be a preseason #1 considered by anybody, you got to feel like you're a pretty complete team. Is there a question mark in your head of like a spot on the field or players that you need to step up because of senior leaders that you're wondering about as you enter your first game?
Well, we have a lot of middies, but we also lost a lot of middies. So we lost Gianna Bowe last year, which everybody, size. What the brilliance of lacrosse is that you can be a really good 6-foot player, and you can also be a really good 5-foot player. Yeah. And so Gianna Bowe was a great 5-foot player that so many people who saw our team play last year said, "Oh my God, I love your number 21." I said, "Oh, Gianna Bowe." So we are filling the gap that she brought. She was an energizer for us. She was an activator for us, both on and off the field with her personality. And then also Klages was another senior that was in our midfield last year. And so those two did a lot of work for us. And so we are replacing those two positions. We have a lot of options. We have a lot of great new talent that's coming up that doesn't have as much experience. So I would say looking forward to seeing the potential grow and what they can do. Where obviously on offense we return Jamie and Katie, but also Scotty Rose Growney, who ended up, like, if people watched her at the Final Four last year, she was so exciting to watch. And then defensively, we return most of our starters. We are replacing Charlotte Sofield in the back, but we also have a lot of returning. So I think that's why that people want to put us high, is because there's not as many question marks.
Yeah, right.
But it doesn't mean other people won't climb you if you don't keep working. So.
Well, here's the slate they have here. As usual, they start with JMU, the national champions from 2 years ago. Many of the usual suspects before hitting the gauntlet of the ACC schedule. You see Northwestern and Maryland. They were back-to-back games last year. They're a little more spread out this season. Florida on the schedule once again, and then as you can see, those ACC games sort of intermixed a little bit. They had a bunch in a row last year, sort of mixing it up every other couple days this time around.